What's up everybody, it's JC here, back with another video. Today I'm bringing something a little bit different, but I think it's going to be helpful. It's a complete beginner's Yone guide, or just anybody that's new to the champ in general and wants to pick him up for that assassin slash bruiser build. First here, we'll go over his abilities and his passive, just to kind of give you a brief overview of those. So Way of the Hunter is his passive. You get Still in Spirit, which is Yone uses 2 blades, causing every second auto attack to deal 50% magic damage. So if I hit this dummy twice, the second hit will cause half of that damage to be done through magic damage. So even if they try and build armor, you're still gonna get some good damage in through your magic damage passive. The second part of that passive is Intent. So this is Yone's critical strike chance is increased by 150%, but they deal 10% reduced damage. So as you can see here, when I get a crit cloak, it should just give me 15% critical strike chance, right? We'll see if you see down here in our rune stats, or in our stats, our critical strike chance is at 38%. So really, when you finish 2 crit items, you're already at 100% critical strike chance. That's what makes this champion so strong. Yasuo is the same way, but they are the Ant Brothers, so what could you expect? So yeah, that's his passive in a nutshell. And then every AD, once you hit 100%, every time you get percent critical strike, you get bonus AD for that as well. So just, it doesn't hurt to keep building crit once you hit that 100% threshold. So his Q is the signature of his kit. You always want to max Q first in about every single matchup. What it does is Yone thrusts forward, dealing 137 physical damage. On hit, grants a stack for 6 seconds. At 2 stacks, you're able to dash forward, that knocks up people and deals that same 137 magic damage. So what's so cool about this is one of the few abilities in the game that scale with attack speed. So as you build attack speed, which you always want to do on Yone, your cooldown and cast time are reduced. So you can see here when you're upgrading it, it's not giving you a reduced cooldown. When you max this out and have attack speed, you can get it down to like 0.7 seconds on your Q, 1 second on your Q. So for an example here, if I go in and hit this target dummy, let it reset, you can see that stack is there. If I hit it again, I get this wave around me. And then we have this circle that shows us where we can go. And when you do the dash, it knocks up that target dummy. Show it one more time here. And it does not stop with just one. So if I'm right next to this guy, you can see I'm still in the range. Use it and it can knock up as many people are in that line. Very, very good ability. Very good ability and the core of Yone's kit. So moving on, we have our W, which is Spirit Cleave. Yone cleaves forward, dealing 5+% max health damage, which is huge. And it also does percent max health damage. If you hit, you gain a shield for 1.5 seconds. The amount of shield increases for each champion struck. So if I use my W here, you can see it does magic and physical damage with a percentage of their health. And we'll go ahead and reduce our cooldowns so you can see that again. And it gives us that shield you can see, which does decay. As you level it, you do get more damage, base damage, as well as total max health damage percentage increased. Which is very, very, very nice. So it also, this W also scales with attack speed. So as you do with attack speed, your cast time and cooldown are reduced with this as well. So it's very important to put attack speed items on Yone. For his E, we have Soul Unbound. This is a very iconic thing for Yone. Yone enters a spirit form for 5 seconds, leaving his body behind for the duration and gaining 10% ramping movement speed. When it ends, you snap back and repeat 25% of all damage you dealt to that champion or those champions during the time. You can recast this skill during spirit form to end it early. So you really enjoy mobility with this champ. So you can see I'm actually here, I'm able to move freely, and as soon as it's over, I pop back into the E. And this one does not scale with attack speed, but your cooldown does go down as you rank it up. So personally, my skill order is always max Q, max E, and max W last when you're putting points in your R as available. So a lot of people like me, your basic combos with Yone where you get your ult is you hit your Q, You know, you want that to stack up. As soon as you get your stack, position yourself in a good spot, Q in, and then W, and then just trying to get autos off, and then you E back.
They all seek my aid, but do they
That's your standard combo. So again, you know, you're stepping up, you get your Q proc, you can get it on a minion, you don't have to get it on the player. You get your second Q proc, make sure you're in a good spot, E in, Q, W, E back. That's your standard combo. So that is your E ability. Very good, very good. And then we have our R, which is Fate Sealed. Yone strikes all enemies along a path for 102 physical and 102 magic damage, teleporting behind the last enemy hit and knocking up victims towards Yone. So you can do this in an angle. It's nice. You can use your R. I press my E. Use your R, and it pulls all the enemies to you, and you can hit all your abilities like that, because it brings them on a line to you. So let's say your total all-in combo really is, again, get your Q ready procced up. You can do this on minions. You'll want to E in, Q if possible, and then you can R back W and keep getting your Qs off, and then you execute them with your E when you pop back. You want to chain CC as much as possible. And honestly, you can lead in with your R. So once you get that Q procced, you put yourself in a good position, E, R, and Q back to knock them up, W, and just keep applying your Q as it comes back off cooldown. That is all of the abilities that you need to know with Yone. And we'll go ahead and go straight into the runes that you'll want to take. So generally, you want to take my favorite for the mid lane especially, my favorite rune page is Lethal Tempo, Triumph, Alacrity, Coup de Grace, Second Wind, Unflinching, and then Attack Speed, Adaptive, and whichever you're facing in the lane. Usually it's going to be Magic Resist because you find a lot of mages. This is so good because of the Second Wind. It gives you extra sustain in lane. You're always healing back. And then Unflinching gives you tenacity, so if someone hits you with a stun, obviously you're getting built up tenacity with lower health, so you'll be able to get out of that stun or root quicker. And yeah, and also Lethal Tempo is just so good because as you stack it up, you can see here as I'm attacking this dummy, once I hit that 6 stack mark, we get higher attack speed and higher range, and we can just ramp that up, and it takes off the attack speed cap. It's huge on Yone. I would always take that as your primary tree, is Lethal Tempo, Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. So a secondary option you may use is, again, the Precision tree, Lethal Tempo, Triumph, and Tenacity this time with Coup de Grace. And then Taste of Blood, Ultimate Hunter, and then again the same rune stats there. So this is just to give you more play on your R, as well as give you some extra health when you're damaging champions. This is a good rune when they don't have a lot of mage play, where they're not stunning you all the time. The Unflinching really comes in hand. And yeah, I really think both of them are solid options, but I would go with the Precision Lethal Tempo one as well as the Second Wind one 9 times out of 10. So now we'll just go over the build. So for Yone, you have a build path. Your starter items, usually you want to go with the Doran Shield, Health Pot, and the Stealth Ward. Obviously you're going to get poked down a lot early game. You need your attack speed to scale with your abilities, and you need to ramp up some damage. So always start with your Doran Shield. I would recommend that 9 times out of 10, just to be as safe as possible in the lane. Your core items, every game you want to go Berserkers, Shield Bow, Infinity Edge. Those 3 are super important for this kit. This Immortal Shield Bow gives you attack speed, what you need. It gives you crit, gives you AD, gives you life steal, and it gives you survivability with the shield once you get below a certain threshold of 30%. And it's super key when you're getting ganked or just getting poked down. Infinity Edge, once you hit that 60% crest threshold, which is really after 1 item and a crit cloak, you get 35% extra damage on your critical strikes. Very, very overpowered item on Yone. So then we move into our situational items. We have Blade of the Ruin King. This is more if you have a bunch of healthy enemies. If there's a lot of tanks that build a lot of health, Blade of the Rune King is really nice. It gives you life steal and attack speed. And every auto does 12% enemy current health physical damage. It's really good at getting those high health targets down below 50% really quick. So take that if you have a bunch of high health teams. And then we have a Mortal Reminder, which is one of my personal favorites. It gives you attack speed, crit chance, increases your move speed, and applies grievous runes. And it also stacks up to 40% when you hit that opponent consecutively. So it's very good if you're fighting against enchanters or anybody that does any type of healing or regeneration effect. So Sona, if they have a Yumi on their team, things like that. Any shielding is good. Regeneration is good just to have in general. Death's Dance and Wit's End, you take either one of these. I would never recommend taking both in the same game. Death's Dance, if they're a heavy AD team and you need more survivability, I would take Death's Dance. If they're heavy AP, then I would take Wit's End because of the magic resist and attack speed. And then usually this is a good final item to go on Yone because they will start stacking armor 9 times out of 10. And Lord Doms gives you that crit chance, which you love, AD, and 30% armor penetration. And you don't really build health on Yone, so the Giant Slayer passive is also really good because you deal up to 25% bonus physical damage against champions that have greater max health than you. So moving on to the matchups for Yone. So this is an interesting thing here. So with Yone, he's really good against low mobility champs and champs that don't really do a lot of damage in the early game, people you can catch out. So things like this, good matchups include Azir, Echo, Victor, Zoe, Diana, Rise, and really Kassadin. I know once he gets 6, it's a little tough because he can just, teleport out of your attacks. But pre-6, you definitely beat Kassadin. And if you can get him far behind, it takes him way too long to scale and you can end the game before he gets to his scaling. Some bad matchups for Yone include Akshan. Akshan is terrible. Zed, Vex, Anivia, Vladimir, and Lux. And the permanent ban picks you want to have if you're playing Yone is either Zed or Akshan. Akshan is my preferred because he outranges you. He has really good early damage. And he really is just annoying overall. But Zed is also just a good ban because of how evasive he is and how he can impact the game way better than most champions. So just getting him out of the way is a really good option most of the time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little guide of Yone mid. He's a very strong pick, very fun pick. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section box below, and I'll be glad to answer them and just have a dialogue with you guys. And if you did like the video, make sure you like the video, comment, and subscribe for more League content. And let me know what guide you want to see next. I look forward to the next one, and we'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.